Dr. Servis, what leadership positions have you held as an academic psychiatrist, and which have been most influential or meaningful to you?
Well, I've been involved in a number of professional organizations in psychiatry, and also in organized medicine a little bit. The one that I've enjoyed the most is, may not be too surprising, is the Training Directors Organization, which is AADPRT, the American Association of Directors of Psychiatric Residency Training, commonly referred to as ADPERT. And I actually went to ADPERT when I was a resident, and that was my very first exposure to a professional meeting in psychiatry, and I remember it well. It was, at that time, ADPERT met every year in New Orleans. That was their site, and I was coming from New York, and it was just an incredible experience because everyone there was interested in education and teaching, and that was what I had fallen in love with even as a resident, and it inspired me to want to be a training director because I've met people that shared the same interests that I had, the same love and passion for education, and they just offered all these wonderful workshops and talks and symposia on teaching. So I fell in love with ADPERT at a very early stage in my career, and then as a training director, when I became the training director at UC Davis, I got to go to ADPERT every year and commiserate with my fellow training directors as we were often struggling with many of the same kinds of problems and issues. And it was a great opportunity for professional development for me and for mentorship. And you often think about, when you think about mentorship, about the people in your institution that you might go to for help, but what you quickly learn is that there's a whole national community out there that if you get involved in organizations, you can take advantage of people nationally as mentors. And that was certainly true for me. I quickly established helpful relationships and connections through the training directors group that was really very useful to my development. And so I would go to ADPERT every year, and I began to get involved in helping to run the organization, and became involved on the executive committee. My first contributions were around information technology and getting the website up, and that was in the early days of the internet. And after that, I became involved in the membership activities for the organization. And then I became the program chair for one of the annual meetings. And after that, I ascended on to become the president. Actually, 2 years ago, I think it was, which was kind of a pinnacle achievement for me to be able to look back and see myself having been first involved as a resident and then finally becoming president of an organization that I believed in and really was proud to be associated with. So that was a great professional experience for me, and I'm actually still involved with ADPERT as a past president and as a member of the executive council. And at that level of being involved in the organization, you also have opportunities to influence national policy decisions that relate to residency training and education. And in fact, I'm sure some of my experience in ADPERT is why I'm now on the Residency Review Committee for the ACGME, which oversees the accreditation of training programs. As I said, I've been involved in a number of other groups and organizations, and I've almost always had very positive experiences in doing that. I think there's a lot of benefits to getting involved at that level, and both in terms of mentorship and your own professional development and networking. It's been a very rewarding experience for me.
As an academic psychiatrist, are you provided time within your role as a training director to attend these kinds of meetings? Is that
Yes, you're provided time and funding, which is perhaps even more important. But and this is pretty universal. To take AdPERT as an example, that nearly all programs in the country, all departments, will free up their training directors to attend AdPERT, and will typically provide funding support for them to attend the meeting. And I would probably find a way to do it, even if I had to carve out the time and pay for it myself. But I think departments have found that the advantages to their programs and to their individual faculty of this involvement makes it it's money well spent.